The Metis Tech Show.
Welcome to the Metis Tech Show, a show for HVAC professionals by HVAC professionals.
I like how you guys bounce back and forth between heat pump talk and food talk.
The Metis Tech Show.
Mitsubishi.
So, guys, we had food coming out every 5 minutes this week at the 2025 DSG conference. And what's something that stood out to you guys food-wise this week?
Has anyone said the cinnamon rolls yet?
Oh, yeah. So,
Yeah.
were you here for the Diamond Conference in last December?
I wasn't, no.
It was here at this location, the Kalahari, and they bring out these big pans of a gigantic cinnamon roll, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can go in and just scoop that out, and yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, those are dangerous too because it's one big cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
So you cut into it with the spoon and then you start lifting it up and more comes and more comes. It's like, well, that all counts as one. Yeah. So you keep, next thing you know, you get 2.5 feet of cinnamon roll and putting it on your plate.
Might as well just take the whole pan back to the table.
Yeah, it's fantastic with the cinnamon roll. I love it. But you could always tell who had too much after the break because they come in and the head's against the wall and they're gone. But it is what it is. I mean, it's part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Dwayne?
Yeah, that was a struggle.
Yeah.
I can't have that cinnamon roll, and I love them. Right, the sugar. I can't have all the sugar.
Yeah, I
and the
passed on
carbs,
it this
man.
time.
But it was probably better that I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Because I might have been one of those guys leaning on the wall as well.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Did you have anything that you did like?
The brisket.
Oh,
the other
yeah.
night, that brisket was crazy good. And
Yeah.
so tender, man. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
A lot of protein.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of protein options. It was turkey, chicken, and beef yesterday.
Yeah, that was
No shortage, which is nice.
fantastic. I went light on the veggies and heavy on the meat last night. It was good.
Yeah. It was a little sketched out by the yellow turmeric-coated cauliflower.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was either the yellow cauliflower or the black broccoli. Like, what are you going to go?
I went with the green beans.
Yeah. There you go. Wise decision.
Yeah,
Wise
yeah.
decision.
Yeah, so welcome to the Metis Tech Show. Again, we are in Austin at the 2025 DSG conference, and a lot of guests this week. So introduce yourselves. You got Chris and Dwain on the show. Chris, what do you do for Metis?
So I am a mechanical engineer for water products for the Northeast Business Unit. So specialize in anything water related, primarily the QAHV, HVRF, soon to be CAHV, which is the EcoDan Pro, and then the e-chiller, which is right around the corner. So a lot of really interesting, really fun products that are coming down the pipeline, and pretty excited about the opportunity and to be the tip of the spear on this. It's not often where you get this opportunity, and I'm pretty pumped to be part of it. So
Yeah, are you supporting the EcoDan single phase as well? Is that going to be something that?
that'll be something that we're going to help out with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Awesome.
think, yeah.
Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne Barcklay, area service manager and Tiger team manager right now, carrying 2 roles, located on the West Coast, California, Northern California there, and I'm not bored. Haven't been bored.
Yeah, congratulations, by the way, on the Tiger team now. That's very cool.
Yeah,
And
the
both of
newest
you
addition.
have been on the show before.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. No, it's been good. This has been a good conference so far, and the HVRF, I'm excited to be a part of that HVRF presentation. And
So you guys are both co-teaching that HVRF course, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so keeping in trend with what we've been doing, we're just talking to some of the instructors that are here teaching at the DSG conference. And basically what we want to do is just kind of get an idea of what you're covering in your course. You don't have to go into too much detail, but just basically what are some of the key elements of what you're doing with the HVRF course for the DSGs this year?
Yeah, I think to start it off, well, we start high level. We talk about differences between HVRF and VRF and high level. We talk about the inner workings of the refrigeration cycle in it and water flow, thermistors. We go through the controls, and then we start to narrow in on all the kits and the components and everything that are needed for the system, because there's a lot.
Right.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
And usually I should have started off with this. Before we start the class, Dwayne and I usually ask, like, hey, how many of you in the audience have closed loop hydronic exposure, any background? And what do you think? It's been like 50-50?
It's been around right there, right at the 50%, I think,
Yeah.
for both classes so far.
which is good, because we're getting a lot of questions, which is what we want.
Yeah.
The audience is pretty interactive. So, after the first couple of segments, we get into the hydronics. We've actually started to work in high-level hydronic, like 101 scenario stuff, where we talk about why do you need an air separator, why do you need an air vent, what's the difference. We talk a little bit about expansion tank and system pressure, because it's new to a lot of these guys, and you can see a lot of guys that do have that exposure. I feel like they're learning a thing or two. They're nodding. They're like, oh yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And it's been great, because we get a lot of questions, and when we get a lot of questions, things go a lot smoother. People are interactive. They're talking to you. They're not in a cinnamon bun coma or anything like that. So it's been really well received. And then we go into the startup, the debris removal, air removal mode, which it's pretty in depth, and then onto maintenance tool and what you can see on that. So we cover. I mean, we've got everyone in there for, I think, what do we got? 3 hours and 45 minutes. I think we're 3 hours and 44 minutes. We're like, all right, any questions? And at that point,
I'm in the
everyone's
same boat.
Everyone's packing up their bag. Like, no, we're good. You beat us in the submission. We're okay.
So we've had a couple episodes in the past about the HVRF.
Yeah, yeah.
Talked about it.
Yeah.
But for those of maybe first-time listeners right now, break down what the HVRF is. What exactly that machine is.
Yeah. So HVRF, it's another tool in the toolbox to VRF. It's not a replacement of VRF, and that's something that Dwayne and I have been really trying to get across to everybody in the audience. We're basically taking a hybrid branch controller, which has plate and frame, brazed plate heat exchangers in it,
Yeah.
integral circulators, and a valve block, and that's where you have your heat transfer between your refrigerant and your water. And from there, you have water distribution out to fan coil units, okay? And it's really geared to those small applications where you have those rooms that you might have a higher refrigerant concentration limit. Maybe you don't want to go with VRF, maybe you want to go with HVRF and keep the refrigerant out of that occupied space, avoid refrigerant detection, so on and so forth. So, like I said, it's hydronic from that HBC out to the indoor units. Another weapon in the arsenal of Mitsubishi, but not something that's meant to be a replacement for VRF. There's still going to be plenty of opportunities for VRF, but this is geared towards more like sleeping quarters or dorm rooms or something like that. So
Yeah.
And the nice thing that really helps as well is the outdoor units. It doesn't have a special unit that we're using strictly for HVRF.
Right,
So we're
yeah.
using the same outdoor unit that we use on our refrigerant VRF systems for these HVRF systems. So that way the guys have got a lot of background on that side of it. It's really just bringing them up to speed on the whole hydronics and heat transfer side in the branch controller.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. It's interesting, and I'm wondering how much crossover there is between the HVRF class and the course that I'm teaching, because I have EcoDan residential air to water, and I'm doing the same kind of idea where kind of just getting the uninitiated aware of hydronic systems on the basic level and then applying it to the EcoDan. And now I'm wondering, like, how many slides are we sharing at this point when it comes to that stuff? But the good thing is that with all the water products we have, I don't think there's anything wrong with people seeing that content more than once. So
Yeah.
it's incredibly helpul.
yeah, repetition is key, honestly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
and
one thing too that has been really exciting to see is Mitsubishi's been well known for air side.
Right.
A lot of air side. And now this venture into the water side is exciting to me. I mean, I love seeing it. And again, we've got a whole class of distributor DSGs that we're training up. And again, that 50% balance, it's like these classes are rock star classes. They're really getting a lot out of these classes, and they're
Right.
getting excited about it. And what I've learned is when you get the DSGs excited, it actually affects the sales of the product at the distributorships as well.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Now, what specifically a maintenance tool are you using on there to show them for the HVRF? What are you showing? Just values or?
Yeah, right now we do have some screenshots of the refrigerant diagram that we go over with them and just really go through the flows, right? What the refrigerant flow is doing, what the water flow is doing. And then we also go back to the display screen where it just gives you the raw data. And you're looking at data, and then just really, where does that data fit, and how does it apply to what's going on? We talk in the world of refrigeration a lot about superheat and subcooling, so now we're playing that into, okay, this heat exchanger's got this superheat when it's in cooling, but now you take that same heat exchanger and you put it into heating, now that turns into a subcooling value, and what all that means, and targets that these units will run at.
Sure. Yeah, that's cool. Now, do you have any specific targets, or is it mostly just kind of showing what we see as far as we can verify that it is subcooling versus superheating?
Yeah, there's some fairly close targets in operation that I've looked at. It's probably still needs to be tightened a little bit, but yes, there is some targets which really helps you on new product, especially getting used to what you're looking at, and is this really what it's going to do?
Right.
And there is, and that's one of the things that we present to them is some of the targets. Obviously, there's things you've got to learn. It's different, right? All the different thermistor numbers that we're used to, and your four-way valves, your solenoid valves,
Right.
Pressure sensors. They don't always do the same thing, and their terminology is not always the same either.
No.
So now you're looking at a whole new product, right?
Yeah, especially with HVRF because we have reversing valves in our branch controller.
Yeah.
And then PS1 and PS3 don't mean the same thing anymore.
Yes.
And so even if you were like Mr. Advanced City Multi and you knew all of the values and targets, as soon as you look at it on an HVRF, you're like, uh-oh, what is all of this stuff? So it's cool. That's honestly one of the things I discovered is so helpful about having the refrigerant circuit diagram as part of that is that even if you've sat in front of a maintenance tool on an NGen forever, you sit in front of an HVRF, everything's different, and so having the refrigerant circuit to see where everything's mapped out, it helps those light bulbs go off and go, okay, all right, I can see where we're going now.
Yeah, that really is key too, because you can sit and you can look at maintenance tool data and you can look at all the thermistors, which there are a ton of thermistors on these units, and eventually you're going to need a bottle of aspirin because there's just so much information. But when you take that and you put it on you've got an animated flow diagram where you have the refrigeration cycle on one side, the hydronic cycle on the other side, you see all those thermistors, you can see how everything kind of interacts. I made a joke today. I said I love reading picture books because it's easier for me to understand. So when you start putting all those into an animated one line, it's like, okay,
So is that
this all
on
makes
maintenance
sense.
tool now, the refrigerant flow and water flow?
Oh, yeah.
Has it been there the whole time? Really? That's cool.
Yeah, where you
It's
been?
awesome.
Huge.
It's awesome.
That's awesome. Now, you guys mentioned 50-50, right? You got some people that are doing hydronics and some that are not.
Yes.
Chris, you did something last year internally. You did some internal training.
Yeah.
I want to call it like the hydronics tour that you did across the country.
Oh, yeah, it's fun
what did so what did that consist of?
So we did a handful of presentations. George Wenert and I. So shout out to George on that.
Yeah.
We started with like a plumbing and hydronics 101, and then we had an advanced hydronics presentation. So the 101 was like the real introductory, high level, 30,000 feet. This is, these are the components, these are where they go. And then the advanced was, okay, now that we know where they go, we're going to dive into what they're actually doing, what their differences are. We talked about like the difference between an air separator and an air vent. We talked about expansion tanks and how you need to have expansion tank pressure equals system fill pressure, and like a lot of this stuff, it's general hydronic knowledge, but you can tell a lot of people don't. They have a little bit of exposure, but they're like, oh, I knew what an expansion tank was for, but I never knew exactly, I can't put it after a pump. I have to put it on the suction side of a pump, so there was a lot of that. And then we took that and we built on that more and we applied it to our products. So for HVRF best practices, we made a presentation and we talked about all these components for closed loop hydronics and where they fit in HVRF. And we did the same thing with QAHV. And I feel like that went a long way because you can sit and you can tell someone what an expansion tank is for or where an air separator goes. But now when you tell them and you apply it to the product and they see it, it sticks a little bit more,
Right.
So that went a long way. I felt like, a lot of people took that and ran with it, better understanding of the product, and it makes them a lot more comfortable so they can go out and you can talk to your plumbing engineers in the consulting firm. Whereas before, I think a lot of people were kind of hesitant on that. Yeah. Like, oh, we talk to the mechanical guys, we don't talk to the plumbing guys. So giving the staff that added level of comfort went a long way. Mission accomplished. We felt pretty good about that.
Right. And up until the QAHV was released, 5 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
I've just figured hydronics were, and boilers and everything else were the same across the whole country. Right? Until we started installing, we went and installed the QAHV in Atlanta. Well, try finding a high vent in Atlanta. I think I mentioned this before a million times, but
Wild
I was
goose
blown
chase.
away. I'm walking into plumbing supply houses, and all I see is PEX and PVC, and they're like, "You don't got a high vent here."
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Oh, wait a minute. Where am I? Yeah. So it's totally different, like you said, Dwayne. We're taking on a different product. For the longest time, it was VRF and just M&P series, 1-to-1s, right? And things are changing. Yeah. So.
Well, the funny thing is that even if you believe that you have hydronic experience because you put together 20 to 150 residential boilers, if somebody was to be like, why does the expansion tank have to be on that side of the pump? You'd be like, because that's how it comes within the box for the boiler trinket. You know what I mean? You could be putting boilers together forever, but to have a deeper understanding, I think helps just in general with concept and designing systems. So I think the first time I saw that class was the engineering summit at the end of last year. And it was funny because there was the whole beginning part where you're talking about hydronics and feed pressure based on floors and how much water can be pushed up and all this interesting stuff. And I'm like, this is all education for me. And then you got to the point where you're just showing control valves and you're showing pumps. And I'm like, I know what that is. Yeah. I can identify a hydronic part from a mile away, but to fully understand it was cool to have that training. So
Good.
It's it's interesting too is the trades, how you get into a closed loop plumbing system versus just open systems or hot water systems. Right. We kind of, I did. I generalized the whole industry in a sense that if you did plumbing, you knew hydronics.
Yeah.
And that is now turned into a real eye opener that just because you know how to put pipes together and put some water through them does not mean you know about hydronic systems.
Right.
And that has been very evident as we've moved into a lot of these new products.
Yeah.
So Chris's presentation was beautiful because, again, what is any of the training that we do? We want to not just tell you do it this way, but why are you doing it? What is that all about? How does that affect the whole system?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good. I think it's another good class that we have going on. It's one of our newer products, not newest, but newer products. Do you have any personal information about future state with the change to the R32 refrigerant? Is there going to be changes to the HBC? Do you know of them? It's okay to say no, just curious.
No, yeah. I think from what we know right now, the HBC is on the back burner a little bit. I think towards the end of next year is when it's going to be released. So I think the closest alligator to the boat right now is R32 and all the VRF components, making sure those are ready to go. And then I think that HBC, the R32 or HBC, will be coming out eventually. So cool. Yeah, so it's on the roadmap. Like I said,
as with all the others.
It's not the closest alligator to the boat.
Yeah. Awesome. What do you think they're feeding us tonight for dinner?
All of it.
Yes. Liquor.
I think because it's awards night, so the DSGs, we're going to be giving out awards tonight. So I think it's going to be a little bit, it could be fillets and lobster tails or something.
Yeah,
You never know.
special.
I doubt it.
I hope
but-
so, because I haven't eaten anything.
You're
I'm
starving.
wasting away over here. Can I tell you? So I should have started off at the beginning. Props to you guys for doing this for a living, standing up and presenting to people for the 3-day essentials class, 8 hours a day. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it. We're feeling it after 4 hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, Bryn had the pleasure last spring. So let's go back, and this is how fast things move. I don't know, I just can't keep up anymore. But we had a flood in Boston.
Oh, I remember that.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
All right, so we had to cancel a bunch of classes. And we had a whole waiting list or a whole bunch of people that already signed up, paid. We have to get the training center back up and going, not only that, but we have to get these guys trained quickly. So Bryn had to teach 5 straight days, Monday through Friday, a 2-day M&P, and a 3-day city multi. And I felt terrible for him because I remember, and Tim Connell, if you're listening, will remember back when we did the JV, we did something called a boot camp for the train guys. And we had to get them up to speed quickly on our M&P line and the city multi-line. So we were doing 5 days worth of classes. That is exhausting.
That's a marathon.
And
It was brutal.
I was getting home from a week of that, and my wife is like, "Why are you so quiet? Why are you so quiet?" I'm like, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm done talking. It's nothing against you. I love you, but I can't talk anymore. So yeah, it's brutal. It is. It's brutal.
That was some kind of PTSD regression that I did, because when you were bringing that up, I'm like, I don't remember what he's talking about. I was like, oh yeah, I did. I guess I did teach 5 days in a row for 3 weeks.
You buried that way down. You buried that down, and now you just scratched at it, and now it's coming back.
Yeah.
And, oh no!
Yeah, if I break
Nightmares.
down, you'll know why. All right, well, thank you guys very much, and I'm sure we'll see you around the dinner table.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being on. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Bye.